All right, folks, this one's worth telling, so we're bringing out the big guns. And if those big shots in Hollywood don't have the heart to tell the tale, a guess running horse is gonna. We're talking about Kit Carson, the man who knew the wild frontier like no other, the legend every adventurer measured himself against. Born in 1809 in Madison County, Kentucky, Carson was raised on the frontier, where a man had to know how to hunt, track, and fight just to stay alive. By 16, he lit out west, a natural, learning the land, the languages, and the ways of the wild. English, Spanish, French, Comanche, Cheyenne, he spoke them all. That's why in 1842, when a celebrated explorer and U.S. Army Lieutenant John C. Fremont set out on his first expedition to explore the Rocky Mountains and beyond, he sent for Carson. Fremont had ambitions of mapping the land, but he needed a man who knew the terrain, who could lead him through the wilderness. The two would map the West together, carving trails through mountains, deserts, and places no white man had dared to cross. They blazed a path along the Oregon Trail, opening the door for thousands of settlers to follow. Now, there's a whole bunch of stories from those adventures, but for now, just know this: Carson was the man who made it possible. In May of 1846, President James K. Polk declared war on Mexico. California was part of Mexico's vast territory, but Polk saw it as a prize worth claiming under the American flag. Carson and Fremont rode with the American forces to make that happen. The fight for California had begun. Carson was their best tracker, their scout, their messenger. He carried dispatches through enemy territory, guiding soldiers through mountains and deserts. But now, he was given a mission that could change the course of the Mexican-American War. General Stephen Kearny's forces had just suffered a brutal fight at the Battle of San Pasqual on December 6th. The Americans, battered and outnumbered, clashed with a well-prepared Mexican cavalry under Mexican General Andres Pico. The fight turned into a desperate struggle. Kearny's men took heavy losses and were left wounded and cut off from reinforcements near San Diego, their supplies running dangerously low. At the same time, American forces were making their final push for control of California, with Los Angeles still under Mexican control. But without Kearny's troops, the effort would be in vain. That army was the power needed to secure California once and for all. Someone had to break through enemy lines and carry word to Commodore Stockton, who commanded U.S. naval forces, to bring reinforcements and help the boys take control of San Diego quickly. That task fell to Kit Carson, Lieutenant Edward Beale, and Delaware scout Alexis Godey. Under cover of darkness, the three men slipped past enemy lines, weaving between rocks and brush, every movement calculated and precise. A bottleneck of Mexican troops just wide enough for Carson and his men. Close enough they could hear bits of Spanish floating through the air. Staying quiet, they took off their boots and pressed forward barefoot. The journey was harder than expected. The boots they had removed fell off their packs, leaving them with nothing but bare feet on the harsh terrain. 30 miles of hostile territory. No boots, no rest, no time. When reaching the final stretch, Carson knew moving together was a mistake. The risk was too high. He made the call, split up, take different paths. "One of us will get through," he said. And just like that, they vanished into the night. All three men made it through, but it was Carson who reached Commodore Stockton with the message that turned the tide. Reinforcements arrived, allowing Kearny's battered men to break free from San Pasqual and link up with the rest of the army. Together, they pushed forward, defeating the Californios at the battles of Rio San Gabriel and La Mesa. Los Angeles would soon fall under American control. Kit Carson is one of the greatest legends of the West, a man of grit and steel. He had tracked game, guided armies, and saved lives on the frontier. If there was a man's story needing the big screen, it'd be Carson. Hollywood wouldn't know a real legend if one roped him and branded him. We're here to set the record straight. Subscribe, like, and ride along with Running Horse.